Bournemouth then with a 2-0 victory over Arsenal, inflicting their first defeat of the season, taking all 3 points. Just taking a look at what that means in the standings. Remember, Manchester City are in action tomorrow, as are Liverpool. So Arsenal remain third. They're joined now by Aston Villa, level on points with them. More on Villa later on in the show. But let's focus, shall we, on what was said post-match in Arsenal's defeat. Here's Arteta.
What did you make of the red card for Preston?
Well, it was a decision made on the pitch, and that decision was changed. And now the decision, I don't think it's going to change twice. So, decision made.
Are you surprised that Saliba made the decision to bring him down? I know he was quite far away from goal, but it seemed like he panicked in that moment, and he's normally quite calm.
I don't know, it's a split of a second. It's a decision you have to make. The striker is on his back. Obviously, he doesn't expect the ball suddenly to be coming his way, and he just made a decision, and that's it. And the referee decided to give a red card, or give a yellow and then a red card.
Don Hutchison joins us. We'll be hearing from Don in a moment. Not a good day at the office overall at all for Arsenal.
I think from Saliba's perspective, it was instinctive. Trossard was the problem.
Right.
Playing the ball back. It was a really sloppy pass. And it was just Declan Rice was stupid. Trossard...
But you agree it was a red card?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, when I saw it first, I thought that's a red card. The only could be whether Ben White was round in the cover. As soon as they went to the wide angle, he was not. One of the things that could cost you a title when it's going to be as close as we think it might be, currently between 3 sides, is having your best players available. And that's being lucky with injuries, but being smart with decision-making. Could maybe give him a pass today because he just had to do that. But the other 2 that we've seen, with Trossard and with Rice, are just not smart. They're just not. Arsenal had a disciplinary problem, I think, when Arteta came in, particularly with the defenders. And if memory serves me right, they cleaned it up pretty well last year.
Yeah.
Or over the last year or 2. They cleaned their discipline up really well, are a lot better. And guess what? Their performances were a lot better. They challenged in the Premier League almost to the end. But they will not challenge all the way to the end. And he knows this if they continue to get silly red cards. So as you said, this was a really bad day at the office. And by the way, Bournemouth are a good little side. They're a good little side. One thing I want to know, when the set-piece coach is taking all the credit when Arsenal have a great set-piece, does he bear any responsibility when they defend set-pieces badly? Because they got caught out with their pants down today on a brilliant Bournemouth set-piece, and they deserve their 3 points, and I'm afraid Arsenal have to go away and have a good think.
How much can you give Arsenal a pass, though, Don, given that you take someone like Saka and Odegaard out of any team? It's going to have an effect on it.
Yeah, but you can't really give them a pass on what's happening in terms of their discipline. I mean, that's 3 red cards, and they were lucky, by the way, because if you go back a couple of weeks ago when they played Leicester and the game was at 2-2, Calafiori should have been sent off, and the referee didn't send him off that day. So that should have been, or could have been, 4 red cards, and they went on to win the game 4-2. So there wasn't too many Arsenal fans crying that day. But you've got to clean yourself up. You can't keep, having yellow cards and second yellow cards and red cards, because that now for Saliba and that now for Mikel Arteta means Saliba will miss the Liverpool game. So that could be massive, because people talk about who's their most important player, and it could be Kai Havertz one week, and he started really well. I honestly think when I look at Arsenal, their most important players are the 2 centre-halves, Gabriel and Saliba. Now, one of them is going to be missing in the Liverpool game, and that's Saliba, because of the red card today. And I think the referee made the right call. In real time, I thought it was a red card. The only thing on the wide, I was just wondering where David Raya was, and he was backpedaling towards his own goal. So once that was cleared up and Ben White was never getting there, it was a definite red card. And Craig's right, when you watch Bournemouth with Tara and Semenyo, who's only 24, he's going to be a real good player. Someone could come in and buy him for big money. But Arsenal are not going to win the league if they keep going down to 10 men every other week.
It's a big call next week what he does. I mean, I don't know at this moment in time who's available, but he probably could put Calafiori in the left side centre-back position. A very, very good player. But he's generally played left back, certainly at Arsenal, and going into to form a new partnership with a Zinchenko or a Kivior coming in at left back. And by the way, not one of those 2 players, Kivior and Zinchenko, does Mikel Arteta want to play
In a game like that.
In a game like that, left back against this Liverpool front three, but because of these decisions, he's probably going to have to do that. And you know, when you're in this scenario, you just got to suck it up. When your players are doing this, they either have to cut out these mistakes, or you just have to suck it up as a team.
So what do we say today about Arsenal's title credentials?
It's a dent, and obviously it's for me how Arteta handles this week. For me, if I'm Arteta, you take this one on your chin and say, listen, we had a bad day at the office.
Right.
We got what we deserved. That's going to happen to every single team over the course of a 38-game campaign. This isn't going to win us or lose us the title. We'll deal with this. It's how we respond. That's my message. My concern is, and it kind of goes back to last season, albeit this was a little bit later in the season, Arsenal again have an opportunity to go top of the table and fumble it. They make a mess of, and while yes, Bournemouth certainly were deserving of their 3 points and have been a decent little team this season, as Craig phrased it, nobody saw this result coming. And you think Arsenal, the form that they've been in, they'll go there, and I honestly thought it would be 4 or 5.
Right.
And now all of a sudden we're having a very different conversation. So for me, it's about how Arteta handles this adversity. Take it on the chin, we'll fix it, we'll be all right next week, regardless of injuries or suspensions. We're that kind of team. I would like them to prove that to me, because, as I say, this time, or in April of last year, they made a mess of it.
They all look a little fallible, though, don't they? I mean, in some sense.
Oh, God, yeah, definitely.
Okay, Liverpool have only lost 2 goals in the league, right? And they're top of the league.
But they did lose at home against Forest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They lost at home against Forest, and if you look at the fixtures thus far have been very kind to Liverpool, not taking anything away from them, but their next 7 or 8 games are much tougher. Then you look at City before the international break, could easily have lost at home to Fulham. Mm-hmm. Easily have lost at home to Fulham. So, as Shaq said, for me, don't get too down if you're an Arsenal player in the dressing room. Again, it comes back to basics. They have, in my mind, the second best squad in the Premier League, strongest behind Man City. Do the basics. Cut out the silly mistakes. Cut out the silly discipline issues, and get back to what they've been really good at for a couple of years, and they'll be back on track. But it gets away from you quickly if you keep doing the same things, and you feel sorry for yourself. And let's be honest about it, not so much this time, but the first 2 that happened, the Rice and the Trossard ones, they felt like the world was against them. Mm-hmm. They didn't own it, so they just have to own it and move on, and there's a long way to go.